Hello Year 7, it's Miss MacArthur here. Welcome back to your poetry lessons. You should be doing this lesson on Monday the 4th of May. However, we will leave this up for a couple of weeks just in case you're slightly behind and needing to catch up. So we are in week 3 and this is lesson 10. So you need to have done lessons 1 to 9 before doing this lesson. So today we are looking at writing your own poem. You've been analysing a lot of poems, so now we want you to see if you can put some of those techniques into practice. So as a little do it now, can you write down as many poetic techniques as you can think of? See if you can do it without flicking back through your wonderful notes, I'm sure. So just take a few minutes to have a good think and jot these down. Now here's a little match the word to the definition exercise. So I've presented it in a table for you. You can do the same if you like. However, please beware that they are not the correct definitions. You need to match them up. So you'll need to read through all of the definitions and see which one matches the device. Okay, and you can write this out in your book or you can type it, but they are good definitions and techniques to revise. Okay, there is a little extension at the bottom if you're feeling adventurous today. See if you can write an example of each device into your book. So I've chosen alliteration, and here is my example. The slithering snake slipped through the grass. So that's the repetition of the S sound. Now, something that happens all the time is that we get confused between metaphors and similes. So as a quick exercise, I would like you to write down the sentence 1 to 6 and then write next to it whether it is a metaphor or a simile. I will give you a little hint and a little clue. There are 3 similes and 3 metaphors, okay? And if you need any help with this, then please get in contact with us, Miss MacArthur or Miss O'Donnell or your class teacher, okay? Now, this is completely your opinion. What do you think makes an enjoyable poem? So I'd like you to create a spider diagram in your books of techniques or aspects that make a good poem. Now for me, I like a poem that tells a story. I like to imagine what's going on from start to end. And I also quite like a clear rhyme scheme. Okay, I like it when it creates a beat. But what is interesting to you? Here's another sort of personal question. How did you feel when you were leaving primary school? So I'd like you to write a bank of emotions as to how you felt when you left primary school. And I've put a few examples there. Feel free to borrow some, but it would be great if you could come up with your own. Once you've done that, for each emotion, I'd like you to just write a little sentence about why you felt that way. This will be really important for your next task. It's almost helping you beforehand, okay? Now, we've just thought about leaving primary school. I'd like you to do exactly the same for your first day of secondary school. And again, there's a few words there that you can use if you want to. And I'd like you to write a sentence again about why. Okay, this will all make sense soon. But just pause the video, make sure you've got a few written down. It's also important that you don't just write, I was happy because it was fun, because that's quite dull. So you need to make it more personal. Was there a specific memory? Did you make a new friend? Why did they make you laugh? Did they trip over? Did a teacher make you laugh? Things like that, please. Now, your task for today is to write a poem. So previously, we've been looking at poems that show children growing up and arguing with their parents. But today, you are going to write a poem about your transition from primary school to secondary school. You've got that 6-week summer holiday in the middle. So how did you grow or change in that time? And how did school affect that change? As you can see in the table above, each technique has a score next to it. Every time you use one in your poem, add it onto your score. We want to see who can get the most points, so who can get the most techniques into their poem. You can use the same technique twice or maybe even 3 times. Don't overdo it, but wouldn't it be amazing if you could get every single one of those into your poem? I think it would. Once you have finished your first draft of your poem, it will never be as good as your last. You must keep going through it. Drafting and editing is a really important skill. Go through each line, see how it can be improved. Could you put a technique in there? Could you make your vocabulary more ambitious? Have you missed out some punctuation? Or could you just make the story more interesting? These are all things to consider. Once you are happy with your poem, it would be amazing, and this doesn't have to be done today because we want you to only work for an hour. Once you have finished your poem, see if you can present it beautifully. So write it up neatly, maybe draw a few pictures around the side, make sure your name is on it, and then if you could send in a picture, that would be amazing because we can't wait to read them and we miss you all a lot. Okay, so take care and enjoy this. Have a bit of fun with it, get your family involved, and we look forward to reading them. Take care.